The Brotherhood of the Horadrim, descendants of powerful mages who are tasked to protect this world from the forces of hell that seek to corrupt and conquer Sanctuary. They can be a bit underwhelming to some players, as most of their experience with them consists of Deckard Cain, a man who is painfully old. But their history is pretty badass, with them being responsible for the creation of many powerful artifacts and for sealing away many terrible evils. You see, the Horadrim was founded by Tyrael, an angel, as a group dedicated to sealing away the prime evils: Mephisto, Lord of Hatred; Diablo, Lord of Terror; and Baal, Lord of— his name is definitely not pronounced Baal, and in fact it would be silly to pronounce it that way, especially for an entire video. Don't be ridiculous, who would do that sort of thing? I'm not embarrassed, you're embarrassed. So they set out to do this thing, this group of powerful mages. In the process of hunting down the prime evils, they created something called the Cube, which ended up driving a bunch of people mad, so they hid it with a tribe of barbarians for safekeeping. This is a common theme in Diablo. If you want something kept safe, give it to barbarians. Not sure why. Instead, they created the less powerful Horadrim Cube, which was used in Diablo 2. The first cube would eventually become Kanai's Cube, used in Diablo 3. It's a fun little thing. You stuff stuff inside of it and magically mixes it together, and you hope what comes out doesn't suck. Anyway, so this group of powerful mages first captured Mephisto, trapping him in the Soul Stone that they had prepared for him. Let that sink in for a moment. Mephisto, boss of Act 3 of Diablo 2, and one of the three most powerful beings in hell, was captured by these guys like a goddamn Pokemon. I mean, they did it in a city and a lot of innocent people died in the crossfire, which I don't remember being part of the Pokemon games, but they did it, okay? And spoiler alert, they kept winning. Anyway, for this one they created the Guardian Tower and gave the Soul Stone to a religious order called the Zakarum. They managed to last a couple hundred years before being totally corrupted by it. Next up was Baal, Lord of Destruction. There was a vicious fight, but this one was isolated, so good job learning from your past mistakes, guys. Great work. They won, but the Soul Stone was cracked during the attempt, and would never permanently hold Baal. A mage by the name of Tal Rasha stepped forward as sacrifice. He would have the Soul Stone binded to him, and would wrestle with the soul of Baal for all of eternity. No disqualifications, soul cage match, pay-per-view live for the next couple centuries. They chained him inside of a burial chamber, and left him there, where he would eventually be rescued centuries later by Diablo. Speaking of Diablo, they tracked him down and captured him too, burying the Soul Stone beneath a monastery where it would lie for centuries before starting the events of Diablo 1. With their task complete, the Horadrim changed from an order of warrior mages to scholars, seeking to catalog what they learned and only hunt down evil in their spare time. But this wasn't the end of the Horadrim's problems. One of their own, Zoltan Kuhl, had returned to his homeland and was obsessed with defeating both heaven and hell and elevating humanity above them both. And he created the Black Soul Stone to do it, an object of immense power that would later become the focal point of Diablo 3. The Horadrim picked up their demon hunting tools again, tracked him down, and split his body into 4 pieces, as their former comrades' experiments had given him immortality. They put all his blood into jars and beheaded him. It was weird. We eventually resurrected him, and then killed him again in Diablo 3. With all this done, the Horadrim went back to scholarly work and slowly diminished over the years until all that remained was Deckard Cain to hobble in our general direction. Given that eventually all of their work became unraveled, it's easy to go, well, they all sucked. But that's the wrong way to look at this. The Horadrim walked out into the world with no prior knowledge on how to do any of this, and managed to capture and contain the 3 most powerful beings in hell for hundreds of years. They sacrificed a lot of people to do it, too, and the result was a couple centuries of relative peace. Given you can't actually kill the prime evils without them regenerating in hell, that's a great success. They created an age where demon hunters weren't needed for a while. Deckard Cain, the last of the Horadrim, recorded a lot of the knowledge that was passed down to him in the Book of Cain, and his work was passed on back to Tyrael. After the events of Diablo 3, he reformed the Horadrim and almost immediately got most of them killed when Malthael attacked and stole the one thing they were trying to guard, the Black Soul Stone. Malthael later destroyed it. They stayed in order devoted to killing demons and helped the Nephilim continue to hunt down threats. Though I'm sure we as player characters will overshadow them in the demon hunting business, I'm interested to see how the Horadrim will develop. Their goals are in humanity's interests, and as our relationship with the angels of heaven get more and more frosty, they may be useful in fighting them off as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and take care, everybody.